Famous actor Denzel Washington, I'm sure you know him, right? He recently admitted that he made some movies in the mid 90s that he's actually not proud of. Why? Because he had to do what he had to do: pay the bills, keep working, stay visible in an industry that forgets you faster than last season's trends. His mom told him, do what you gotta do so you can do what you wanna do. And guess what? It worked for him. Now he gets to cherry pick whatever roles tickle his fancy. That's the lesson. The grind isn't forever. It's fuel for freedom. Hi, I'm Kate. And when I heard Denzel explain why he made those less than stellar movies in the mid 90s, I gave more thought to his mother's advice. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Kate's Wandering Thoughts, where I dissect wisdom that should probably be mandatory life curriculum. So honestly, the advice from Denzel's mom should be embroidered on throw pillows, tattooed on forearms, and maybe projected onto billboards for all the delusional dreamers out there. Yeah, Denzel straight up admitted he's not proud of some of those mid 90s projects. They weren't masterpieces, they were rent payers. Pure, do what you gotta do territory. But guess what? They worked like a charm because today he can do whatever the hell he wants. Oscar films, prestige films, Shakespeare, or just sipping tea while the rest of Hollywood chases superhero money. And that, my friends, is the real flex. Not pretending you've always been choosy or above it all, but actually grinding through the less than glamorous stuff so you earn the right to be choosy later on. Society promotes the myth of loving every single step. Not true, right? We live in a world where people are constantly told, find your passion, do what you love, never settle. Social media has sold us this absurd fantasy that life should be a Pinterest board where every latte is photogenic, every job is fulfilling, and every day is sparkled with purpose. Newsflash, that's complete and utter nonsense. Sometimes you take jobs that make your soul weep because rent isn't optional, and your landlord definitely doesn't accept the idea of following your dreams as payment. Sometimes do what you gotta do means enduring a soul-sucking office job while writing your novel on lunch breaks. Yeah, I did those office jobs that I hated, but they kept me moving forward. No, I didn't write a novel on lunch breaks, but it meant that I was ready when the right opportunity came along. And yeah, Denzel made forgettable movies that critics will never mention, just so that he could survive long enough to make the ones they'll never shut up about. Denzel didn't dance around it. He flat out said he's not proud of some mid 1990s projects. Translation: they weren't exactly peak cinema. Were they unwatchable garbage? Probably not. But they weren't his finest either. And that's precisely the point. Those movies weren't meant to be career-defining masterpieces. They were strategic stepping stones. Because do what you gotta do isn't about selling out. It's about surviving long enough to get to the place where you can do what you want to do. Anyone who sneers at that has clearly never faced the delightful choice between paying the electric bill and eating something more than instant ramen for the third week in a row. Everyone has a gotta do phase. Let's be brutally honest. We've all done things we weren't proud of just to keep the lights on and the landlord happy. Take my glamorous stint in soul-crushing office jobs, where I perfected the art of looking busy while slowly dying inside. Or my 6-year sentence, rewarding career, teaching in California, where each year felt like a prison sentence. Did I hate every minute of it? Absolutely. Did I stick around anyway because rent doesn't pay itself? You bet your underpaid, overworked ass I did. And in the creative world, oh, honey, it's a rite of passage. Musicians play weddings. Actors do commercials for hemorrhoid cream. Writers crank out listicles like 10 ways avocado toast will change your life. You do what you gotta do. Denzel's mom didn't say, do what you gotta do until you're exhausted. She didn't preach, suffer endlessly while pretending it builds character. She said something much smarter. Do what you gotta do so you can do what you wanna do. That tiny word so is absolutely everything. It's the bridge between grinding and thriving. The promise that today's dirt eating has an actual expiration date and purpose. That all this unglamorous hustle is building towards something bigger. It's a reality check and a pep talk rolled into one. So, what is the problem with modern hustle culture? Here's where I'm going to have a little rant. Hustle culture has hijacked do what you gotta do and twisted it into destroy yourself for work and hope you get a gold star before you burn out. That's not what this is actually about. Denzel's version isn't about glamorizing struggle for struggle's sake. It's about playing the long game with actual intelligence. He wasn't proud of those mid-90s films, but he was proud of the career freedom they purchased for him. That's the difference. Let's face it, the American dream is currently experiencing some serious malfunctions. You've witnessed that firsthand, haven't you? Working yourself into the ground doesn't automatically equal success. So when someone says, do what you gotta do, it's less about climbing some mythical corporate ladder and more about buying yourself precious time and options. It's paying bills while you secretly build skills. It's biding your time until opportunity strikes. It's swallowing your pride temporarily so one day you can say, oh, absolutely not, without flinching or checking your bank balance. Nobody wants to be in their gotta do era, but everybody needs one to get to their wanna do era. You can survive the gotta do season without losing your mind. How do you do this without becoming bitter? Well, have a plan. Don't just slog endlessly, hoping the universe notices your suffering. Know exactly what you're building toward. Bank the benefits. Even crappy jobs teach you something useful: discipline, patience, people skills, or maybe how not to run a business. Say no strategically. Once you're stable enough, start turning down the gotta do's and gravitate toward the wanna-dos. Always remember the goal. Every late night, every mind-numbing task, every cringe-worthy gig is buying you future freedom. Denzel didn't get permanently trapped making mid-90s filler forever. He leveraged them into something better. That's the whole point. But before I end, let's roast the always love your work delusion. Let me personally destroy one of the most toxic myths circulating. Are you listening? Here it is. If you love your work, you'll never work a day in your life. Oh, please, just stop. That saccharine nonsense has psychologically destroyed more ambitious souls than actual failure ever could. Loving your work doesn't mean every single moment feels like a Disney movie. Sometimes loving your work means tolerating absolute garbage gigs because they fund your real passion. Sometimes it means biting your tongue so you don't lose the chance to do that what actually matters later. Even Denzel, yes, the famous Denzel Washington, had to grind through projects he'd rather forget. But you know what? If it's good enough for him, it's probably good enough for the rest of us regular humans. So, do what you gotta do so you can do what you wanna do. It's not glamorous. It's not Instagram ready. Won't get you motivational speaker bookings, but it's devastatingly real. The truth is, every successful career, every dream, every worthwhile goal is built on a foundation of gotta-dos. They're the necessary foundation nobody wants to acknowledge. But without them, there is no skyscraper, no spotlight, no freedom. So if you're trapped in your gotta-do season right now, take heart. It doesn't mean you failed at life. It means you're paying your dues and stacking the blocks so you can eventually construct the life you actually want. Because the people who try to skip the gotta do phase, well, they usually don't get to the wanna do phase. And honestly, if Denzel can own up to some mid-90s missteps and still walk away with multiple Oscars, maybe the rest of us can survive folding jeans, waiting tables, or creating spreadsheets from hell. It's all fuel. Every boring, soul-crushing, pride-swallowing moment. So do what you gotta do with purpose and strategy. Then when the timing is finally right, you can do exactly what you want to do. And nobody on earth can stop you. So do you agree with Denzel's mom? Are you in your gotta do phase right now? Can you see the wanna do phase coming your way? Thanks for thinking about this with me. If it hit home, please hit the thumbs up button and share it with someone who might need some encouragement. Take care. See you next time. Bye.